Alrighty then. So let me just put a couple of messages out really quick. Alright guys, so I had to restart everything because, well, there's some issues. So anyway, I'm gonna delete this character, confirm, yeah, I understand. Alright, so for some reason it doesn't want me to delete the character. And the game seems to have locked me out unless it's trying to transition that. Oh, okay. Yeah, great. So I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. Alright. I knew there should be an issue when sound was kinda gone. Anyway, let's try this again. Yes. Okay, good. So create new character. I had mentioned that in the other video. So what I'm doing right now is I'm creating a character from scratch. There's a big change in the game in the last few years. So it seems that all the new content's actually aimed to higher level players. So what the game started, what the developers started doing was they start making it easier for people to actually level up the character to master class. I realize some people still have a lot of issues doing so. So what I am actually doing right now is I will be pretty much power leveling, doing a speed run with nothing but whatever the game gives to me for free. Not using the cash shop, not using any equipment from other characters. So pretty much starting a blank slate. I've seen a lot of speedruns in the past. Uh, some of the players I actually know them in game. I respect them. But the only thing is, they usually use cash shop items. They use a lot of their other characters' items. What makes a lot easier, makes a lot faster. I actually tested this and I was able to do masterclass in about 8 hours, but that was pretty much also before I kind of relearned some of the stuff that happened in the game. See, since the last update, there were a few changes, so I had to get used again, so I probably can do it in a lot less time. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to actually ask during the game, during the gameplay. So, we start right now. Broke Not Dead. A couple of things I like to set up, and it's pretty much whatever I use all the time in the equipment. So growth potions, now they actually give to you a lot of them. You do have to be careful using them, mostly because you don't want to run out. But those are not only timed, but also they are limited by level. The other thing is your pet, your pickup pet. It's pretty much what it grabs all your stuff without you have to do by hand. And I'll tell you, there was a time that you actually had to do it by hand. I don't miss those times. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I just gonna head to the hidden village. It will help me a lot, even on time, I'd say. I cannot afford any buffs right now, so I'm not even going to try. What I will do is, since you have those special buffs, meaning the Altered Almighty pieces and everything, I'm just gonna head to Horizon. And it's basically because killing level 1 monsters, it takes you about 2 seconds the way it is right now, so I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to maximize my XP gain. By the way, if that's your guys' first time, Impact Amplifiers doubles the damage output, so as you can see, 2 kills, I'm already on level 8. So I need to pull up my job levels in here. That's the only issue when you power level or something like that, is you're pretty much running around killing and trying to level at the same time. Level your stats, I mean. Alright, and one thing you try not to forget is get your pet up, or it's not going to gather any money or anything. So I just wasted some time killing stuff. I mean, not really a big deal. What I'm probably gonna do as soon as the Hidden Village return pass refreshes, what I'm gonna do is go in there. I want to be able to get the buffs, but I'm gonna teleport myself to the dungeon if I have 3,000. Basically, at this level, I really don't care. I'll just sell anything I got. Shouldn't make much money, but there's always that chance it's gonna make enough for me to get a buff or two. So the other thing is, back in the day, at level 10, you're actually allowed to just jump in and level to 10 so you can get your new profession, but I really don't understand why the game changed that, since, I mean, there's not really a reason. You level pretty quick. If you get stuck up to level 20 for more than 20 minutes, half an hour, there are issues. So what I'm probably gonna do now, and it has to do with cash flow, because killing those things in the wild is not gonna make anything for me. So basically I just gonna run. And as soon as I get to the first dungeon, dungeons will give you more rupees. Then I would just head back to the town, to the Hidden Village, and sell whatever I have and get my buffs. Now the other thing is, the only difference is whatever you get in the wild actually is more valuable than what I get in the dungeons. It just, the drops are a lot smaller, and I mean, it's just not worth it. So the other thing is, while the population is nothing compared to years ago when the game started, I mean, you teleported to any location, you're probably going to be lagging back in the day. The population is still active. A lot of the players are old players, returning players. So I guess the best thing about it is you see a lot of friends, you see a lot of people you know. And to be honest, in general, the community is pretty good. I don't think I ever had issues with many players. During events can be an issue when you're trying to grind in an area or a forum or anything, and some people really can't respect that. But it's only one or two people. A lot of them got banned from the game. Um, Things have to do with taking someone's skill, things like that, or just being stupid. So one thing people have to always remember is, um, back the day, if you PK'd anybody, it wasn't an issue. But because certain items are hard to get, a lot of players, what they started doing is, as soon as they saw someone was about to kill a boss or anything, they would just go in, kill that person. Usually the player had low health already. We just killed the person before they could actually kill the boss and get the loot. So what happened a couple of years ago was they changed that in a lot of ways. And one of the ways they changed it was they started kicking out those players, uh, banning accounts, things like that. Some people got upset, but you know what? That was actually killing the game. It's a game that the people that actually like the game really, really love it. Um, but yeah, so those few players that actually really loved this game and had a lot of history were just sick and tired of having to deal with that BS. Oh yeah, alright. So don't forget to use your altered almighty pieces, or you're gonna be trying to kill things for like a few hours. So right now I just reached level 20, and I can finally use Deva's Blessing. Hey, Kara's around. So Karis is a really old player. Um, I know Karis from my other account, so I'm not avoiding the people I know. It's more the situation where, like I said, I don't want to get buffs. I don't want to get anything from other players, requests, or use any, you know, anything like that. So I'm kind of just avoiding that right now. Okay, now I made 18. And yeah, I'm just heading back. It takes about 7,000 rupees for each. Make sure not to get the same one. I've done it before. Let's see if my speed is high right now. I'm not really worried about changing my armor. Only because with those buffs, if you are actually able to die, there are some issues. Major issues. So one thing you can do in here really quick is check if I got any cards. Great, I got a base soul taming card. I'm gonna dismantle all those cards. And that's pretty much gonna give me awakening stones. The reason why I want awakening stones is yeah. I will see if I get any half decent stats on my mace. So I got a little bit of P attack agility. I actually had in my other account a couple of weapons. They're level 1, but they have almost plus 500 total on P attack. Trust me, this does help a lot in lower levels. That's the difference between 5 seconds to kill a creature to not 5 seconds. So rings, and why not? Yeah, I can use accuracy. That's gonna make sure I hit. I usually prefer to use attack speed. Block doesn't do anything for me if I'm not using a shield. The other thing is, I could have at level 20, I could have changed jobs, but honestly, I'm not even going to waste time doing that right now. One of the things that gonna hurt all the time for new players is you have no belt pads. Belt pads can add to your attack speed, strength, and everything else, so it can be a little bit of an issue. but only basically on how fast you're gonna be leveling. So as soon as I can get pets, I will try to actually tame a pet. That I was gonna show you guys how to do it. So what I'm gonna do is any two-handed melee weapon. I'm just gonna try to see if I get anything decent from it. I mean, it's a little bit of time I'm losing, but in the big sense of things, it will actually help me. Right, so this one got slightly better. Still nothing. Alright, so for now, I'll just jump to this weapon. Also, it doesn't really add much, but I'm getting lucky rings. It will help with the critical rate and some of the output towards items. If you actually look it up, it doesn't add that much, so alright, now it's slightly better. Now, one thing that is a bit of a pain when you do things this way is if you realize I'm at 73%, what kind of means I'm about to be dragging around speed. So I got to dismantle some of my items. Basically the stuff I'm not going to use. Now dismantling, you will actually spend money to do so. As you notice, I actually don't have enough to dismantle. So the other option, if you get too close, is just, you know, give it away, throw it away. Alright, I'm attack. So magical attack doesn't really do much for me. So alright. I'm actually use this for now. Basically, it allows me to wear a shield. What if I'm lucky enough and I got a better bag? So what I'm doing right now, I'm just giving a quick run to the dungeon boss. Usually people probably already killed him, but the only reason I'm going up is more to check if I can get anything from him. Usually the weapons that come from the boss are higher level than what you can get from usual tunes. Yeah, it was already taken out, so just gonna get to 115 here and jump to the next dungeon. So I'll be honest, I'm getting garbage in here. Usually by this point I would have gotten a lot better weapons. Oh, there we go. And the boss respawned. Now I do need to say, what I'm doing is not necessary in the sense of I don't really need any weapons that may come from him. It's more to show that even without any help, you can easily kill a monster like this. I remember back in the day when you had to have level 50 characters fully geared to even get close to it. Alright, and now it's time to go back to the village. I don't need any of the buffs yet. What I need to do right here is head up and actually change my profession. I'm gonna teleport really quick to Horizon, only because I have no idea where the event dude is anywhere else. Now understand this, during this event I may be able to shave a few minutes using some of those items, but I probably just gonna save most of them. Alright. Alright, I got nothing important. Actually, this just in case would be great. Anything else really... I think I have one more. Yep, pocket full of nopes. So, just so you guys wondering, what I was looking for was actually the red bag. Now basically the biggest difference between you speed running, using equipment from other accounts or cash shop items is basically that you can't just run from dungeon to dungeon. You a lot of times have to stop, get a few things in the store, head out, level equipment, do stuff like that. So I feel that's I read that's the biggest issue people have when someone put up a video online about their speed run. As fast as you may be able to level, it won't be that fast. But sure, compared to reaching 150 after years of playing, the last one I was able to do in 8 hours. I can probably do in less time right now. So I will have a video of the speed run, probably sped up about 10 times or so in the channel after I finish with the live and edit. Now, one thing too is, while it makes very hard for you to die, um, with all the buffs and everything that the game gives to you, you're not immortal. And to be honest, if I'm not able to get a half decent weapon soon, I may prove that to you guys. The other thing is, make sure your Devil's Blessing is on at all times when you do this. I am looking for the boss, Primal Scream. Also, that will allow me some time. Alright, so let's see if I got anything. Alright, so pretty much while I'm killing those things, and it's literally I'm just hitting the one button. I need to try to get a couple of my breakers on. Because they act two ways. They cause area damage. And they decrease how much damage I'm taking from the enemy and how much damage the enemy is taking from me. So now what I'm gonna do is run really quick to the other boss. I should be okay fighting him. But the other thing I also probably gonna do is try to enchant one of my armors while I'm doing a fight, and then equip that on the fly. So 13 minutes ago, alright. So I lost about 10 minutes setting up everything before I actually started. I'm at 40 something minutes right now of gameplay. So the boss not here, he may be respawning soon. I'm gonna be here for 9 more levels. If he respawns on time, I probably gonna try taking him. So rank number 3 defense. I can level this armor until level 12 without having the fear of damaging it. Alright. Right now I got 355 compared to 85 from before. So that's gonna help a little bit on the damage. Nothing crazy. So if you see, as I level, I actually get my energy back. The other way is the game will give you 5 special HP potions that when you reach 50%, it's gonna actually give you back everything. The only problem is you only have 5, and you should save them as much as you can for higher levels. You can buy then the cash shop, but like I said, everything I'm doing is out of the cash shop. This video may be in 2 parts, meaning I'll reach a certain level, stop, and then go to the next one. Alright, finally. Alright, so level 70. Back to the hidden village. So, I am going to use the warehouse, but the only thing I'm doing in the warehouse is dropping a couple of things. I will be working on a speed run with not exactly cash shop stuff, but with equipment I gathered from my characters. So what I will be doing is I'll be just depositing things from my inventory now. Those blue weapons, they have a lot of value. I could have sold them, but I should be okay not doing so. take some of the weight out. Those are things that you will be getting. A lot of. Alright, 34%. First Crystal Valley. So the other thing I'm gonna do really quick is I will be getting a little bit more damage from my axe. So right now I have a 292. I gotta see how much I have to enchant. Get it up to 12. Okay, alright, so I got you 12. What I'm gonna be doing right now is I'm gonna try to combine some fortune cubes. This weapon's rank 3, so I need 3 of those and 24 of the other one. The other thing you're gonna need are extreme powers. Trust me, I need to make at least 3 because those things usually fail. And they all failed. So I need to make some more. So this is what really gonna help in the game is raising weapons and armor. So at this point you shouldn't have to stress too much about I'm just doing because at the end of the day it will speed up a lot the process of leveling. You don't have to do at this point of the game, but it helps. To be honest, to get a plus 20 weapon, you will probably have to create hundreds of cubes. So you can do that, or you can actually buy from someone else. What usually it's a lot of rupees, just a weapon food to be able to get your weapon to 21 usually costs about 6 to 8 billion. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth in the end. That really gonna separate if you're gonna be going to end game or if you're gonna be stuck at 150 something. So it's really a choice. that also drives the economy because a lot of people will buy things in the a lot of cash items, basically to sell in the stores and be able to generate enough rupees to actually get their weapons to a level 20 or so. So, you know, you really have to choose what route you're gonna go. Alright, so now I got 890. Last one too. So it is a good change on the damage output. It's nothing crazy. I just noticed I lost the impact amplifier. And those stamina savers. Why I can kill those creatures, the amount I actually get is not that high in comparison. I have to keep a close attention to Devil's Blessing as well, and Almighty Pieces. I'm looking for another boss that I probably will not be able to kill. I mean, at least not at this point yet. That's okay, he's not here. Hey, here's boss. Hopefully you won't kill me that quick. Alright, so against bosses like him, you have to play smart. In this sense, I'm making sure that I'm using my force regen scroll. If I had not leveled my weapon to about level 17, I'd probably be dead right now. Now, the other thing is, I'm not going to get level any faster by killing him. But later on in the game, I may actually be able to get some perks if I can collect enough cards from him. And since he does not drop cards from high level players, that's the only time for you to get them. Now, I just lost one of the special HP potions. I'm honestly trying to avoid losing them because, like I said, you will need later on in the game. I mean, I'm not saying it's a necessity, but it helps. Okay, so the Gatekeeper of Crystals is basically the guy that holds the ward for the secret dungeon. Now, on the secret dungeon, you get a lot more levels. The other thing is, you also die a lot faster. Now, it is worth if you have the equipment. I probably don't. And the reason why it's so good, in a sense, is because they drop some better weapons in the dungeon that you cannot get even from bosses. So I'm probably gonna have to stay killing those lower level ones. Even so, they will give you slightly better equipment, but you really have to watch your health in here. I mean, honestly, I love this game. I know the graphics are not of any AAA title anymore, but it's still a fun game. As I say, I'm pretty much dying here. It's not really feasible to be staying in this area for too long unless you have extra equipment. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna sort really quick. I'm gonna destroy what I can and don't need. I still need... Actually, I could probably head out for the next dungeon. I will really quick try to enchant a couple of things in here. And yep, that's a nope. Alright, so I know I'm pretty much just running around right now, but it's honestly so I can find a better area in the labyrinth. Alright, so really quick stop. Let's see if I got any better weapons. Alright, level 100 weapons. Eventually, I'm gonna use it. I also do have to make sure I'm not getting too heavy. The game has reduced the drop rate, so it's harder right now to actually get too heavy with equipment, but it will happen. So next I want to be here, and if I'm not wrong, I need to use the one in the front. And no. Oh well. So, I pretty much had to go to where I came from. So the only problem I have with Palmer is it's kind of hard to move around. And I have been away from the game for over a year. And because the map is brown, it becomes kind of hard sometimes to see what you're doing. But not as much of a big deal. Like, this is not a bad area to level. All those creatures are level 100, what is pretty safe for me. My plan is to head to an area where it's about 110. And that's mostly because you do get a lot of those free buffs, and I'm gonna try to utilize them as best as I can. And by the way, hey guys, I am actually paying attention to the chat. If you guys want to ask any questions, please do so. I'm going from start of gameplay for about an hour and a half. So I'm level 80 right now. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I pretty much start a new character. I'm not using any equipment from other accounts or even from this account. Everything I'm actually utilizing right now comes from this actual character. So this game nowadays, as it is, it does not start until you reach Master Class for the most part. So what I'm trying to do is just show you guys that even a new account, you don't need to actually spend money to get to Master Class or anything like that. I do feel that for a 2006 game, it pretty much holds up. I'm not saying it has the best graphics. I do wish the company actually had spent a little bit more time in updating the graphics. I know a lot of people still love the game and they really hope people would go back to this game, but a lot of times what it really takes is more people actually get involved with the game. You guys let me know. Alright, so there is someone here. What I'm gonna try to do is just stay out of their way. Most people will respect that stuff. Some people don't. But honestly, that's their problem. If I'm actually crowding too much for him, um, I will actually leave the area. There's another area close by that actually has the same type of character, monster, so. And yeah, we start to make some of the kills. So I just gonna run to the other area. Alright, so one thing too is you do want to stay in Palmyra Plateau until you're about level 100, maybe a little bit higher. And the reason for that is if you don't, you may get a little stuck on leveling because you will not be able to get to the next dungeon until I believe that's 110 or 120. Now, after you reach 100, in Palmyra Plateau, you can do the witch trials. I mean, you can do prior to it, but again, that's gonna give you enough boost on XP from those trials to actually get to the next dungeon without having to grind in some stupid place or getting almost no XP at all. So yeah, I can't take taken. At least not the way my account is right now. And I'm not saying you can't kill it. It would take you a little bit more time to actually tame some pets. And maybe updating your armor a little bit to be able to get a little bit better. Again, he will not really affect the amount of XP I'm getting, because after 100 I'll just shoot up to the trials. Alright, so 12 more levels before I can get out of this place. So as I mentioned before, the reason why you want to stay here until level 100 is because after you do the trials, you have enough level to actually get to the next dungeon. If you do anything prior, you just be stuck trying to grind where you don't actually get any decent leveling. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to actually send me a message on the chat. Again, thank you guys for watching. I do think it's a great game. I actually love this game. And they do updates all the time. They reset the servers every 2 weeks and they add new content, or they make some changes, they start events, end events. So it's a pretty fun game. Most of the community is fun to deal with. I made a lot of friends every single time I came back to the game. So I actually can't say I ever left. I just had gaps of time I didn't play. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. If you guys know people that like this type of games, please let them know, share the link. One of the things about this game is, it is pay to win, but it doesn't have to. Like, for example, I used to spend money in this game, I completely stopped, and I just create whatever I need, sell to make some rupees, and be able to afford my life in this game without actually having to go to the cash shop. So If I can do it, everybody can do it. I'm gonna be showing how to get to master class in this video, and I'll be having some other videos in the channel about this game showing how to create equipment, the easiest ways, best place to actually make some rupees, how to do the quests, all that good stuff. So if you guys have any questions, don't forget to let me know. And by the way, to you guys watching, I would like to thank you all. For me, it's really fun. That's the first time I'm live streaming. I actually had to figure out a lot, believe it or not. But I got it, and it's up and running. I just had to do it again. Also at level 100, I'm able to get my second profession. So before I head out anywhere, that's what I'm gonna be doing. So I start actually playing the game after 10-15 minutes after I start the streaming. Anywho, so 10-15 minutes after I start streaming, that's when I start playing the game. So I'm getting close to level 100 in a little short from 2 hours. When I came back to the game about a week ago, it took me 8 hours to actually get to master class. But that was mostly because I had to figure out a lot of stuff that changed in the game. Also, I had done a lot of the quests for the longest time, so that also added to the time. I am trying to cut it in half or so. And again, as I mentioned, since new people just walked in, I'm using nothing from the cash shop. I know people done speed runs faster than me, but at the same time, they use equipment from other characters, they use material from cash shop. I'm doing that with a brand new account, just with stuff that was given to me by the developers, by the game. So hey, by the way, Alexander, thanks. Yeah, I actually, I'll be honest, I have somewhere in my account, not this account, but I do have a level 4. I do remember the game when it started. I think the game wasn't even a year old. I believe the level cap was like 50, you had no dungeons. And I'll be honest, I had fun. It took me a long time to figure out this game, mostly because I played for the fun and graphics. It's like a lot of people don't understand. They'll say, "Well, this game doesn't compare to a lot of other games," but to be honest, if you think 2006, the games are actually out, that game was amazing. I remember when you could only have three pets. It was the poultry, the tortoise, and the pantera. And, it was just fun. Hey man, I done that before. I gave so much equipment away in the past. And you know what? I got it all back. Some equipment is actually funny because it's hard to get it now. Like some things, like some cloaks, yeah, every Christmas you get them, but besides that time, you can't. And plus, there's some equipment that also became where you can't donate. So if you gave to someone, you can't even get it back, even if they try. So, but yeah, I have a love and hate relationship with this game. I keep leaving the game and coming back. And a lot of times has to do with population, a lot of times has to do with, just, I don't know, it gets tiring. But you know what? You realize that if you play the game for 13 years, even if on and off, you kind of love the game. Why can't you ever go back? I mean, I get it. This game's addictive, and it's a kind of game that you can go for like hours no stop playing. So I get that. Um, I guess the best thing, I don't know if you remember back the day they had those internet timers where after a certain amount of time it would just shut down your internet. Maybe you could give yourself like 1 or at least 2 hours a day and just get the internet cut in the computer. Damn, nice, man. So, how long ago did you leave? Oh wow. So I don't know if you remember. I think it was in Pantera, a guild called Road to R7. I was actually a member of that guild. I remember it was almost impossible, man. Congrats being the first in the server. I mean, me and the guys were teaming the whole time, using stamina savers non-stop, and it was almost impossible. Yeah, I do think I was on Road to R7, I think it was around 2009. That's when 150, I think, started. Became the cap, or 155. Oh wow, nice. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm doing this live stream a lot to show people that they really don't have to use the cash shop. I mean, eventually they have two choices. They can use the cash shop, or they can spend a lot of hours grinding. Um, but I'll be honest, I miss my equipment right now. Like, I'm leveling pretty fast in comparison, but yeah, I've been on for about 2 hours. But it's like I miss my attack speed. I mean, I miss my belt pads. I miss all that stuff. Man, I remember. You see, I had an assassin as well, Golly. Um, and yeah, I remember going to dungeons with people and they're doing that, but still, like, do you remember how hard it was to get XP? I mean, that was a drag, man. I mean, the game was fun. I sometimes I used to go to the first dungeon and just hang out there. I mean, yeah, I was about level 70 already, but I was just hanging out really. Spend time, talk to people in the server. Oh yeah, I think I remember Rain Man. Do you remember Can't See Me? Yeah, so Can't See Me is from the old times, but I think it was Pantera. I'm not remember the server. I know he's on the PvP server now. They only have one, so. But now, do you remember how hard it was if you're logging in the game back in Horizon? Dude, I used to spend like 2 to 5 minutes sometimes just logging in. That when I didn't drop because the server was just too crowded. Dude, that's crazy. So I do remember. Do you remember the mirror protects? I remember one event that they just gave that stuff away to the point that I had like 200 or so. So when G Potato was the distributor of the game, the publisher, I liked a lot more because when we had events, I mean, we didn't have as often as we have now, but the stuff you got, it was just like amazing. And you got like huge amounts too. It wasn't one or two here and there. You got a ton. I remember having stuff on my character that I still use. Yeah, I'll be honest, webzen implemented some other stuff, but I think G Potato, since, G Labs, they start the game, so I really think like they had more heart. I actually need to look up. I know they sold to webzen, but I'm not really sure like everything that went down because as a publisher, they're great and they sold everything. Fly for free, Rappelz, every single game they had. So I thought they were doing fine. It could be where they just, I don't know, changed names or maybe just got bought out, you know. But yeah, I remember events that, after 1 week, I would have like, I don't know, 300 stamina savers, 250 four-leaf luck potions. Yeah, it was awesome. Crazy, but awesome. Hey man, I never got into fly for fun or fly. Used to be fly for free, not fly for front. Not fly for front. Fun. Jesus. You know when you need to cough, but you want to talk, so every single word you try to say just gets jumbled up? But hey, Alexander, I'll be honest with you, man. I really wish this. I, I don't want to have the same issues I had trying to log into like Horizon ever again. but I would want to see more people, most old players, back to this game. Because it is a fun game. It is a competitive game. And most because they do post like, uh, the best of the week, like people that got the highest levels. So you do get something back for actually working hard on the game. And I don't feel many games actually do that nowadays, so... Almost forget. So, more for returning players, for new players as well, you need to know that equipment breaks, but now you can actually repair all items without having to go to the blacksmith. So, just something to keep in mind. Now, one mistake I did was I should have stayed in the other dungeon, or at least the lower parts of this dungeon, to get a better weapon. So right now I'm paying for it. So I'm pretty much using up all that free stuff that the game gave to me. Again, as I mentioned, the way I'm playing is brand new account. What I'm probably gonna do right now is I just gonna slide to a not so crowded area. Just so I can save my last health potion. Like I said, I'm not using anything from cash shops, anything from other accounts. You guys can see my equipment's pretty basic. I am actually really heavy right now, so I need to drop some stuff. And I'm down 6-1. So actually, I should be able to get to level in less than 10 minutes. So I can now, at 100, I can go get my new profession and get my new buffs because they're almost gone. Alright, level 100. Time to get out of here. So, since I got to level 100, I'm gonna take a 5-10 minute break. I will stop streaming just so I can actually adjust a little bit the video settings, and then I'll be back.